Hey, this is Stuart Ross, founder of the Six Figure Mentors, and thanks for coming through to check out this video where I'm going to do something a little bit different. Now, first of all, you have to excuse the fact there's no cameraman, there's no microphone, so there's probably some echo, and you're going to have to bear with me in some parts of this video, because what I actually want to do is take you behind the scenes on a bit of a journey to answer one of the most common questions that I get asked. Now, before I tell you that question, I want to sort of frame why people ask me. You see, my background was a very traditional job. I was working 70 hours a week in sales as an estate agent, listing and selling houses. I was working weekends. I never really used the internet, and I certainly had no real solid business experience. The first business that I tried to build was actually a franchise. It got me in $20,000 worth of debt, about £12,000 to £13,000 worth of debt. It took 6 months of me to really nail that business into the ground. I tried my hardest to kid myself that it was the right kind of business for me, but I knew pretty much from the first week that I got started with it that it wasn't right at all. It involved cold calling, it involved hardcore selling. You know, I'm talking about picking up the phone and trying to convince and persuade people. And anyone who knows me knows that that's probably one of the worst types of businesses for me, because frankly I don't enjoy trying to persuade or sell people into anything. It's just not what I like to do. I probably could learn and have the ability to be some super duper cheesy salesman if I really put my mind to it. Naturally I am kind of okay at talking and speaking with people, but it was just something I didn't enjoy, and I thought, why waste my life doing something that I didn't really enjoy or get a buzz from? And I know a lot of sales guys, fair play to them, really get a buzz and enjoy it, but personally I don't, you know? So it was kind of like the worst business that I could ever got into. So when people hear that, they always say to me, how on earth did you make a decision to try online marketing or starting an internet-based business, bearing in mind I had no experience whatsoever? You see, a lot of people assume that the people that make the money online are technical geeks or whiz kids, and I can absolutely tell you that it's not the case at all. It really is most often the people that just have a desire, and when I say a desire, I'm talking about a burning desire to make a change in their life, and what they do is they set out to learn some fundamental skills that enables them to really make money online. So anyway, when people hear this about me, they always say, you know, Stuart, what on earth triggered you to, you know, take that action and build an online business? And that's what I want to take you behind the scenes with. Now, as I said, there's just you, me, the camera, so bear with me here. I want to take you a little bit behind the scenes so you can really understand why I made a huge decision to make money on the internet, and even more so why I'm so passionate about helping other people to do the same. So you're actually in my private hideout here, so not many people get invited, so don't tell anyone. This is just a little video area that I've got, a meeting area. It's just a few miles away from my home, and it's just great to be able to get out of the house. Home business is brilliant, but sometimes you just want to escape. This is my little private office area. You've got the flip chart, the laser printer down there, and the office area. And it's kind of a really cool atmosphere because it's so quiet, but I'm bang in the town centre, which is something I really love. This is like a tiny little courtyard out here. Nothing too exciting. And I just want to take you on a little walk to share with you my reason for being so motivated to start an online business. So come with me, let's go for a quick trip. I'm going to do now is actually take you for a quick spin because we need to go to another town. In fact, the town where I was working when I first made that decision to build an internet business, and I just want to share with you a decision that I made that actually changed my life. So for those of you who are car enthusiasts, you'll enjoy this because we're going for a spin in my favourite toy, the Lamborghini, and I think you'll find that you relate to what I'm about to say to you. So bear with me, we've got about 20 miles to drive, so I'm going to take the camera off and I'll see you shortly. Away from where I used to work, and what I'm going to do is pull up round the back and park so I can switch the engine off, and we haven't got the wind and the noisy engine. I'm trying to drive very slowly right now so you can actually hear me. But before I do that, I just want to really stress to you that the reason I'm sharing this message with you is because there's a good chance that you're here because it's, you know, you're at a point where you're wanting to really truly learn how to make money online, or maybe you've been trying but you've not quite got there. And I'm one of those people that was fairly fortunate when it came to actually starting an online business in terms of that I didn't have to make too many mistakes, and I was able to get quite a lot of success quite quickly. Now, if you're anything like me, you'd rather cut corners and get results fast than, you know, spend years and years struggling and failing. And I hear all sorts of stories from many of my friends and many of my students who have eventually become successful, and they tell me about all the trials and tribulations that they've had leading up to their success in terms of actually trying to build an online business. But I never had that many problems, or you know, it really wasn't an extended 5-year journey or anything like that. I'll explain more in a moment, but within 6 months I was in an amazing situation, and it's for the very reason that I'm going to share with you in this video. So I really want you to understand that I'm not just shooting a video for the sake of shooting a video. I'm shooting this video to share a message with you which could ultimately shorten the amount of time it takes you to really truly succeed online. And you know, we're not talking about any push button solutions or magic systems. We're just talking about genuine advice here, which I really think can help you out. So anyway, what I'll do, like I said, is I'll pull up round the back and we'll carry on with the video in a moment. See you in a sec. Okay, so I've just arrived where I used to work. It actually still gives me a bit of a funny feeling being here still to this day, just because I relate to this place as being somewhere that I was fairly unhappy. I was certainly very stressed, and even just pulling up here I get a sense of that horrible feeling, to be honest with you. But let me make the point that I want to make. Whenever I speak to people that I meet who I would class as successful, and I meet people in all sorts of situations from all different backgrounds, doing all sorts of different jobs or different businesses, and I also appreciate that success to different people means different things. You know, for some it's being able to put their kids through the best schools, for others it's being able to provide a fantastic family home, for some people it's driving flash cars. For me, I know that when I first felt successful was the day that I was able to walk away from my job and support myself without a boss, without having to trade time for money, doing something that I didn't want to do. And the reason for that is I believe that that's when I first felt stress-free. You know, up until that point when I was working, I was getting stressed from little things like sitting in traffic and commuting, being controlled by the alarm clock, being controlled by a boss, one of my bosses, I really didn't respect. I didn't agree with the way that he did things and the decisions that he made. So, you know, some of them were smaller stresses. Then there was the bigger stresses, like the debt that I was in, the fact that I was struggling to pay my credit card bills, the fact that I was struggling to some months even meet my car payment. I was stressed that I was driving a car at that time, a BMW 330 off memory, a BMW 330 Ci, where I was struggling to pay the car payments and I was just trying to keep up with the Joneses, and all of that was stressful. And, you know, I first felt complete relief, complete freedom, complete stress-free when I was in that situation where I could actually write my own paycheck from the comfort of my own home. And that actually came 6 months after making the decision that ultimately changed my life, which is why I've actually brought you here to make this point. So going back to what I was saying, whenever I meet other successful people, one thing I've come to realize is that each and every one of them can always highlight the day, the precise day where they made a decision that changed everything for them. And the day that changed everything for me, I was stood here. Let me get out the car and show you. So this here, where I'm actually taking you, is where I used to work. This is actually the office building, and I was stood by those stairs. This is actually the office block that I used to work in. It even looks like a prison, let alone felt like a prison. Well, I was stood there, and I was on the phone. And I was on the phone to a guy called Brad, who lived out in the United States. He lived out in Atlanta. And I was on the phone. And I said to him, you know, I found you online, I've seen what you're up to, I'd arranged the call via email, and I'm interested in finding more about, you know, what it is that you do and how you can help me. He was offering a course, a mentorship course to help me. Now, when I was stood there, I had anxiety, I was nervous, I had this gut-wrenching feeling that, you know, I was doing something way out of my comfort zone, talking to a guy that made money on the internet. The only thing I did online, as I said before, was send emails, and you know, I struggled to do that at times. So I just felt completely out of my comfort zone. But he put me at ease and he said, look, you know, I'm not going to spend a long time on the phone with you, Stuart. I'm just going to kind of tell you as it is. If you want to make money online, you don't need to be a whiz kid, you don't need to be technical, you just need to understand the process, you need to understand the system and the formula, and I can teach you that system and formula. So if you're interested in learning, this is my mentorship course, this is what it will do for you, and if you follow it and you apply it, this is what you will achieve. And what he said I would achieve was freedom. The freedom to run my business from my laptop. As long as I had an internet connection and a laptop, I could go into whatever market I wanted to go into, and I could follow his system and formula to make money, even though I had no experience whatsoever. And he was so confident in what he was telling me. But at the same time, he actually put my mind at rest by telling me, look, these get-rich-quick schemes, these push-button money systems that you hear about on the internet don't work. They're outright scams. So if you're going to do this, commit to it. Get prepared to work, get prepared to learn, get prepared to watch my videos, get prepared to attend my teleconferences, and apply what I teach. But if you're someone who is genuine about wanting to make money on the internet, who's genuine about changing their life, then this will do what it says, and this course will deliver. So, cutting a long story short, I said on the phone, I'm going to make a decision by the end of the day and I'll let you know by email. And he was fine with that. He said no problem at all. He wasn't pushy, which would have just put me straight off anyway. He didn't try and close me. He just said, have a think about it. If you want to do it, let me know. And, you know, the price for his mentoring was $3,000, which for me at the time, that's about £2,000, which for me at the time was a lot of money. I was in a lot of debt. I was struggling. I was stressed. So, you know, making that commitment to spend what to me now is, I have to be honest with you, such a small amount of money, to think back and remember how much that was to me, even to this day, almost gives me a bit of a funny feeling again, thinking back to how much money $3,000 was. And you know, this is a guy had been working 8 years. I've been working really, really hard, you know, doing everything that I could possibly do to get promoted, to get a pay rise, yet I was in debt. Yes, a few of those were silly decisions. I made decisions to do things that I probably couldn't afford to do. Again, it goes back to that whole keeping up with the Joneses at that time. And also, I lost money with business decisions, or one particular business decision that didn't work for me. So it wasn't just from, you know, not earning enough money. I had, you know, spent money in areas that I probably wouldn't have needed to. But the point being is that I'd worked for 8 years so hard to live a stressful lifestyle, to have to commute and sit in traffic every day, to struggle to pay my rent, to struggle to keep up my car payments, to live paycheck to paycheck, and to be in a position where $3,000 was a real struggle for me to get that amount of money. So I was driving home that evening, and when I was driving home, I changed my mind about 5 times on what I was going to do. One minute I was going to do it, the next minute I wasn't. I didn't want to discuss it with anyone. I didn't want to discuss it with my girlfriend or family or friends, because I knew anybody I discussed it with would probably talk me out of it, because it's you know, stick to the safe option, stick to your job, you know, work hard and everything will be okay. Well, no. Let's be honest with you, for most people, everything isn't okay. You only have to look at the people around you, the situation that they're in, and no, everything won't be okay if you follow the old system. Making money in 2012 and beyond isn't about following the system, in my opinion. It's about being an entrepreneur. It's about learning new skills and applying them. And the most amazing thing is if you learn to make money the new way, using the internet, leveraging tools and technology, automating parts of the process, not only can you write your own paycheck, you can do it without having to work all the hours that you would be used to doing in your job. I can run my business typically, unless I'm working on a project, I can run my business on a normal day working 2, maybe 3 hours at the absolute most. Many days I won't work at all. Other days I'll put in more hours. But the point is, I have that decision. The start of the video, you saw my working environment. I go there when I want to work. When I leave my work behind and I live my life like life should be lived, whether that be out in the cars, whether that be in the sun, whether that be spending time with my girlfriend, whether that be with the family, whether that be traveling the world, whether that be meeting up with my students, mentoring. The point is, I have the choice and I'm in a position to make a decision every single day. What am I going to do today? And that, in my opinion, is how life should be lived. Now, the point that I want to make, and the point that I'm doing in this video, is that I showed you where I was stood on the stairs over there, if you can see it. I haven't got a clue if you can see it because I'm doing this video completely off the cuff, but the point being is that I was in a situation where I had to make a decision, and I believe that if you're looking at learning and building an online business, you too are in that situation, regardless of what your circumstances are right now. Whether you're already successful and you just want more freedom and flexibility, or whether you're struggling like I was and you need to make change, you're in a situation where you have the option to make a decision. Now, the decision that I made, and this is the thing that I want to stress, was to get a mentor. That was the decision. You know, that was the decision. Yes, there, I'm sure, were many different people that I could learn from, but the point being is that I had to make a decision, and that decision ultimately came down to getting a mentor. Getting a mentor that was going to cost me $3,000 to follow his course, to attend his teleseminars, and I made the decision, and I said I'm going to do it, and I found the money, and I got a mentor, and I followed his system, and I followed his formula, and I followed his trainings, and I applied what he taught. And here's the great thing. Within 6 months, we've got a wasp in the car joining us, within 6 months, I'd quit my job. I quit my job turning up in a Porsche 911 Turbo, which at that time was my dream car. You probably guessed already, I'm a bit of a car nut. I enjoy cars, okay? I turned up, I put my notice in, I quit my job, I walked away pretty much the same day. They said, you know, we don't want you here if you're doing your own thing, and you know, you don't have respect for your job, we don't want you anyway. Well, I couldn't have cared less, if I'm honest with you. I was more than ready to leave. I knew I was never coming back. And where I've brought you today was the start of everything for me. Millions of dollars later, I'm sat here not only living a life on my own terms, far more important than that is being in a situation where I have one of the fastest growing coaching and training communities on the topic of online marketing, showing people the systems and the formula to quit jobs, to make money on the internet, and to be able to not have to commute, not have to answer to a boss, and even more important than that, live life completely freely on your own terms. Okay, and we're teaching people and showing people every single day. Something that you're going to find out if you're on our list, if you're on my list, one of our affiliate lists, something that you're going to find out very soon is we're on a mission. And that mission is, first of all, to teach tens of thousands of people all over the world how to write their own paycheck. But far more specifically than that is to create 1,000 $10,000 plus a month income earners on the internet by the end of 2015. So 1,000 of our students, that is our mission, and I will not stop till we get there. And the great thing is that we're already on our journey, even though we're just setting these fixed missions, these, you know, exact missions to the point of what we're saying, how many people, and the fact that we're saying we're going to do it from, you know, teaching people over hundreds of different countries. The great thing is that over the last 2 years we've been doing it without really even having a set mission. Every single month we're getting people making their first dollar. Every single month we're getting students making their first $10,000 month plus. Every single month. But if you're on our lists, look out, because I can absolutely tell you the stuff we've got coming, the stuff we've got in the pipeline is going to change everything. So if you're looking at the SFM, don't keep looking. If you're ready to get mentors, not a mentor, if you're ready to get mentors, get your application in. The whole reason that we have an application process is so we can talk to you, like Brad spoke to me, and actually help you make a decision if making money on the internet is right for you, help you to make a decision if getting mentored is right for you, talking to you about the costs that are involved, talking to you and explaining to you your different options. The truth is, you can make an online business, build an online business and start making money with just a few $100s to your name. You can do it, it's possible. But at the same time, you can invest more money, you can get, you know, one-to-one support, you can get additional coaching, you can spend money on your business, for example, on traffic to speed up the process. And we want to talk to you about the various different options that you've got. We want to set your expectation so you understand what it really takes to be successful on the internet. If you've got questions, you can get your application in. If at the end of that phone call, that consultation period, you think, this isn't for you, you can't do that, we refund the $20 it costs to apply. And the reason we have a cost for the application process is simply to vet the serious people, it's to filter the serious people, because if we just had a free application, we would get hundreds of applications of tire kickers who aren't serious, who are looking for push button solutions every single day, and we would be wasting our time speaking with those people. So that's why we have an application process, even though it's 100% risk free. But I'll tell you now, if you're prepared to get your head down, if you're prepared to learn new skills, whatever your circumstances are, if you're prepared to invest a small amount of money, if you're prepared to actually do what it takes to be an entrepreneur and be successful, then we're going to show you, teach you the exact system and formula that you need to apply to get started and start making money fast. That doesn't mean 10 grand a month in your first month, that means start getting results. One of the things that I've seen time and time again, as soon as people make that first dollar, that first sale, they believe in it, they understand it, they've proved to themselves it's possible. Then it's just a case of scaling what they've done and learning new skills and new sales strategies and new product launch strategies and new methods of, you know, generating income. And if you're sat there saying, well, I don't have a business idea, I don't have any products, I don't have any idea, it doesn't matter. That's the whole point of the SFM, is taking you from zero, no understanding, no knowledge whatsoever, to being in a position to making that first sale, making that first $1,000 day, making that first $10,000 month. And hopefully, if you're a committed individual and you're as committed as we are, being one of those 1,000 people to get to that 10 grand a month following our system and training by the end of 2015. So if you're watching this video and you're thinking, do you know what, I'm ready for change, I'm in that position that Stuart is in, I'm at that pivotal point where I'm at a crossroads and I've got to make a decision. Do I make a decision to learn a new skill, a new trade, even though, you know, I know nothing about it? Or maybe it's a case of everything else you've tried business-wise has failed. Or do I take the other route, which is what most people do, and just carry on doing what I'm doing, carry on with my stressful lifestyle, carrying on trading time for money, carrying on struggling, carrying on not being able to do the things for my family that I want to do, not put the roof over their heads that I want to provide, whatever it might be. I don't know. But the choice is there. Let me tell you, absolutely the choice is there. And you only have to look at our hundreds of testimonials, particularly on YouTube, and our own corporate site, where we've been showing and teaching people exactly what they need to do to be successful on the internet. So anyway, thanks for coming through to check out this video. I hope you understand the message that's here. You know, two real ones. One is you need to get a mentor if you want to be successful. That's the first point, you need to get a mentor. And the second thing is to recognize that decision that you're actually going to make a commitment, like I did when I was stood there, to actually make change. You know, commit to yourself. This is it. I'm going to do this. Other people before me have proven it's possible. Not just Stuart, many of his students have proven it's possible. I am the next successful student. I'm going to get my application in, I'm going to speak with these guys on the phone, I'm going to find out if this is for me or not. I'm not going to be pressurized, I'm not going to be pushed, I'm not going to be sold to, you know, because that's how I felt, that's how I hope you feel. I'm going to make an informed decision on an intelligent conversation, and I'm going to make a decision to whether I'm actually going to move forward, become an official SFM student, become one of our students that makes their first sale online using our system and our formula, and I'm then going to be one of those students to go on and be one of the first $10,000 plus a month income earners that they're going to be creating daily. So guys, thanks very much for coming through to check out this video. I cannot wait, I really cannot wait to have further trainings with you or conversations with you if you decide to get your application in and get started. Thanks again for coming through to check out this video. I'm going to enjoy the rest of this sunny day, pub lunch with a girlfriend, and I look forward to catching up with you, like I said, very, very soon.